What's up, guys? Welcome to Box Football, and let's get into the big news that's dropped today, and that's Kylian Mbappe and this crazy saga that's going on between him, PSG, and Real Madrid. This love triangle that, for some reason, is going one way, and then it's going the other way, and now it's just listen, what is going on? And at first, it seemed that he was destined to join Real Madrid. We talked about it last season, and even this season, and the majority of this season here, Real Madrid. PSG put crazy offers on the table, and it seemed like apparently this week there will be announced when everything's set in stone. But one thing that really got me is that now it seems PSG are the favourite to land Mbappe now, and like see him extend at the football club. But what gets me a bit weird about it, Jack, is the contract offer that they're willing to offer this guy.
Right.
Some of the most craziest, the most lucrative. Like, I get it, Mbappe is the best player in the world. We know the quality of the guy. You know, he's not even into his peak. That's how good the player is right now. But the offers that are on the table, Jack, is it a bit too much? I'm hearing the fact that they're obviously going to give him his his image rights, but they're hearing that they're going to give him option to pick the players, to pick the coach.
I think he'll be able to have a voice in those conversations, and I think he'll be able to have veto power. So if there's somebody he really doesn't like and won't get on with, or he knows the squad won't work with the squad, he has veto rights. So that they, as a chief scout, a manager, an owner can be like, oh, we think this guy. But I think Mbappe then has the choice of going, yeah, no, we don't want him, and then that will be taken into account probably quite seriously based on what's been talked about. Yeah, James, it's ridiculous that there are two players in the history of this sport, and maybe from club to club, it's maybe a little different. You look at a Gerrard at Liverpool, right? A John Terry at Chelsea, a Francesco Totti at Roma, right? Maybe these guys deserve this kind of thing, maybe at the end of their career, because you know where their heart is. For me, this is ridiculous. Apart from Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, I think this is absolutely outrageous. This reeks to me of player bigger than the club type mentality. And James, look, keeping Kylian Mbappe is a big deal. Just my read on the situation, because I know a lot of news is coming out. They've been negotiating with PSG. They've been negotiating with Real Madrid. PSG are going to give them more money and apparently a couple of these perks. I don't know how much to believe those perks, right? It's been widely reported, but I don't know how much to believe that. That would be unprecedented. Real Madrid are offering less money, but they're giving him the vast majority of his image rights. Similar, and some reports are saying above the percentage of his image rights that Cristiano Ronaldo had. So that tells you what Real Madrid are willing to do here for Kylian Mbappe. I'm going to say this now. I think this is all a PR play from PSG. And I think Kylian Mbappe has spoken to Leonardo, spoken to Nasser Al-Khelaifi, and I think they're going, look, we need to make this look as good as possible for us, and we'll let you go in the nicest way possible, and we'll treat you nicely. I think they're making it seem like PSG did everything they could just purely to appease the fans. That's my read on it. I think we're going to get an announcement that says it's going to be Real Madrid. I am more than happy to be wrong. More than happy, because to me, it's fascinating either way what he decides to do. But James, my real question is, what, PSG are in a better or worse position to win the Champions League this time next year?
I don't think it's that much. Jack,
do you know what I mean? Like, you go to Real Madrid, you go into a team that Champions League final, you got Ballon d'Or guy with you, two superstars knocking around. Antonio Rudiger's just announced he's coming to town. The midfield is still solid. Camavinga coming through. This is if I'm Kylian Mbappe's buddy and I'm trying to give him a bit of friend to friend advice, it's not even close. This decision, it's not even close. James, he's a superstar now. Try wearing Los Blancos colors and see how that goes for you. He's going to be elevated to way beyond where he is right now, and we know where he is right now, and that's arguably the best player in the world.
I feel like Mbappe sometime in his in his future will be a Real Madrid player, but I just want to take it to PSG, Jack. We had a video on PSG and we looked at what PSG needed to let go, and we spoke about the reason why PSG ain't successful is because how the way they're like this prima donna thing who gives players so much power, all that sort of stuff. We've seen the perks that they've given to Neymar. Messi has came in and probably doesn't have to work half as hard as as he did at Real Madrid. And the way that they prostitute themselves to players, they are doing it again. everything that was bad about PSG, they're showing it. They're showing it to the whole of the football world. This is who we are. No football club should be made to prostitute themselves to a player,
James,
no matter
just for
how big they are.
Just to back you up on your point here, what are we hearing about Paul Pogba right now? Juventus are offering less money than PSG, but he wants to go to Juventus. What are we hearing about Ousmane Dembele right now? Barcelona are offering less money and PSG are offering more money. It's the exact same thing. It's the free agency market again. It's the exact same thing. They're kind of doing what Juventus have done in Serie A for years, which is forget the project, forget this, forget that. We're just going to throw money at you, throw this at you, throw this at you. Like say, prostitute ourselves out purely so that we can get what we want. And that is that we are one of the big boys. We are one of these. They signed Kylian Mbappe. They had success with Kylian Mbappe. I don't think you can call Kylian Mbappe's PSG run a failure, but PSG are by no means, not even close to Real Madrid and Barcelona in terms of stature yet. Not even close.
And Jack, we get it. Mbappe is PSG's best player, but at the end of the day, this football team is filled with egos. If you're a football player on that team and you're hearing, oh, this guy's get this perks, $1 million a week, all this sort of nonsense, that you're going to look, okay, if you're going to give him that, you gotta you gotta give me a bit more, and a bit more, and then you know what's like with the cycle there, And
James, inmates are going to be running the asylum. You coach, you manage, right, at youth level, right?
Yeah.
What, you're going to let your kids decide who you sign, decide who starts, decide what formation you play, decide who gets rested, decide how far do you go on this? Because like you said, if I'm Neymar right now, I'm looking at the big transfer that I made from Barcelona and all the controversies around that. I'm looking at Lionel Messi, arguably the greatest player of all time. I'm looking at maybe an incoming Paul Pogba, an incoming this, an incoming that. Marquinhos, I think, will think he deserves his credit. Gigi Donnarumma, I think, is going to think he has some skin in the game at this point too. Achraf Hakimi is arguably the best right back in the world. All these guys and their agents are going to be talking, going, well, hang on a minute. I don't want to play with that guy. What, just because Kylian wants to play with that guy, he's coming to town?
And Jack, to me, the craziest thing
about it. It's why I don't believe it. Is my final thing. It's why I cannot. There's no way. There's no way he's choosing his coach, his teammates. There's no way.
If these reports are true, that PSG did offer him that, shame on them. Because it should never ever go that far. If you are that desperate to go play for another team, I'm going to say go play for them. A football team should never ever think like that. Do the best we can to keep the player like that we have, but if it takes we gotta bend over backwards and do things like completely out of our character, that just should not work at all.
What I'll say, LeBron James, your buddy, your pal, right, at the Lakers, is it in LeBron James' contract that he gets to decide who comes in, decide who should be coached, decide who that? No. Because LeBron James has mastered the ability to politic his way into doing these things, just using a little bit of persuasion, a little bit of his skin in the game, right? A little bit of his knowledge to be able to do it. It's never been made official on a contract. There are ways that you can go about getting what you want in a team, getting a manager, getting a certain player brought in that aren't written down in black and white as a contractual obligation. It's never been done before. James, here's what I'll say, I think, just to kind of cap this all off. I think Real Madrid are going to be offering less money, but it's a more attractive project. It's a more prestigious football club. He'll play in a tougher league where his own personal brand will grow. And it sounds like he's going to have a greater ownership of his image rights than anybody in Real Madrid's history. That's incredible, especially when Cristiano Ronaldo is your predecessor here, right? PSG are doing anything they can, scraping the barrel for anything they can to keep hold of this guy purely because they want to be that same level of respect. I'm still expecting the Real Madrid announcement come this weekend. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I am.
And Jack, the craziest bit for me is that if Kylian Mbappe does extend and does decide to stay at PSG, I can't see him signing more than 3 years, Jack. I don't see him asking for a 4 or 5 year deal. I think the minimum that the contract that he's going to want is 3 years, and after that, they might be a clause in this deal that I win the Champions League next season, you guys let me go to Real Madrid, because I genuinely do believe that no matter what, he will be a Real Madrid player.
Well, James,
sometime in the future.
No, I agree, but what I'll say to you there is, like, once he's under contract, you're going to have a release clause for one club. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. That's the only problem. I'll just end with this because these quotes have come out recently from Cora plus EG. This is Kylian Mbappe's mother. At Real Madrid, we have full control over image rights, but at PSG, there is financial compensation. The two offers do not differ much between them. They are equal. The two offers are almost identical. At Real, my son will have control of his image rights. We now await his decision. So Kylian Mbappe's mother, again, negotiations with both clubs are now over. Kylian now has to decide. Again, it's fast. I believe it's farcical at this point. I believe in Kylian Mbappe's head. I think he was a Real Madrid player the moment PSG got knocked out of the Champions League this year. And James, it could have well been before that. This is not a decision in my part. Because I'll tell you why, James. I'll tell you why. Erling Haaland to Real Madrid and Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid could come the same summer. We thought it might have been this summer because Kylian would have been free and Haaland would have been so cheap in terms of his transfer fee. He's gone to Man City because Karim Benzema's playing so well. Kylian Mbappe, like, if he's also going to wait, so they're both just going to come in at the same time in 2 years' time? How much is that deal going to cost? Especially if you're dealing with Man City and Paris Saint-Germain. Anyway.
Listen, guys, Real Madrid fans, PSG fans, Mbappe fans, let me know what you think right now.
Quickly though, James, what's your one? What are we saying? I'm saying Real Madrid. I've said Real Madrid from the get-go. I don't think that's changing.
I think PSG, and in the future,
wow,
he goes to Real Madrid. But guys, let me know, Real Madrid, PSG, comment down below. This is Box to Box Football, and we will see you next time.